Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It is time for liftoff.
10,
Let's go.
9, 8, 7,
Time for an
6,
exciting
5,
interactive
4,
English class
3,
here
2,
on Vaughn Radio.
1, 0. Ignition.
Let's get the ball rolling.
Liftoff. Liftoff.
You use the same expression in Spanish. Rodar el balón, right? Let's get the ball rolling. Here we go. Come on, get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelts. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. And get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On radio. It's a show with no name. Come on. Are you with me? Then let's go. Come on. All right, my amigos, welcome. Welcome, show with no namers. Wherever you're tuning in from, wherever you're learning and laughing from, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. On behalf of all of us here at Vaughn Radio, we appreciate you. Yep, I can speak on behalf of everyone. Why not? I know everybody. I know their opinions. So why not? I'm nobody's official spokesperson either, but, well, you know, it seems like a general consensus. We are not just thankful to have you as students, but, you know, you don't choose the people who listen to your radio show, who attend your classes. And I think we can all agree we couldn't have asked for better students. So again, thank you. I mean that. Lo digo en serio. And that is the opinion of all of us. Not just good students, good people. Buena gente, good vibes, buenas vibraciones. Like just yesterday when Christian joined us from Mexico, you guys were right there, ready, with bells on, con campanas puestas, con muchas ganas, with bells on to welcome Christian to the show with no names. So thank you for being you. Hey, you don't hear that all the time. And as I said, it is absolutely sincere. If not, why would I even waste my time saying it? But, that is not going to get you out of all the challenges that I've got lined up for you today. So let's get the ball rolling with today's Say What soundbite. Yes. Say what? All right, folks, we are training your ear. You're hearing all different accents. We've even heard Australian, you know? So, I mean, this morning, in fact, just this morning with my daughter and my wife, I said to them, just to show you, this is not just me on the radio. This is the real me. A word nerd, somebody who likes doing accents. And I said to my wife and my daughter, I said, I'm going to do an Australian accent for you. You know, me just being me, goofing around. Haciendo el ganso, as you say. And I said these words, and I asked them, can you figure out what I'm saying? Can you make out? Es otra forma de decirlo. Can you make out what I'm saying? And here it goes. Let's see if you know it. You can tell us in the comments. Good eye, mate. Good eye, mate. Good eye, mate. What did I just say? I'll give you a clue. If you lived in Australia, you might know it. It is quite common. I wouldn't say my accent is the best. My impersonation is the best in the world, but it's not bad either. I'm trying, the quintessential, por excelencia, the quintessential Australian is obviously Paul Hogan, a.k.a. also known as Crocodile Dundee, baby. And he said it, good eye, mate. So what is he saying when he says, good eye, mate? Because that sounds foreign in American English. And it is, if you think about how far away Australia is from the United States. But that's the beauty of English, too. You can find it on every continent, Asia, Latin America. Well, a lot of people speak English in Latin America, not just in Belize, but also in Mexico. There are many, many English speakers or people who at least need English because there are a lot of multinational companies there, like in many places, and they don't just do business in one region, right? And I guess that's why it's good to know languages too, because that'll open up doors when they're saying, okay, we're going to open a new region in the Caribbean. And they're like, Chris Valrol, we're thinking of you. You've got the language skills. You're a good worker. You'll be the first one chosen, for those kind of opportunities when they're expanding into other territories. All right, amigos, as always, I want you to listen carefully because our Say What soundbite, well, it varies here. I think today it's on the easier side, un poco más fácil que últimamente, lately. All right, let's listen carefully. As you know, you're going to hear this a total of 4 times, once in each section of the show. And then afterwards, hopefully somebody will be able to get it all down and give it to us here in the comments. And your first goal, even if you can't get it down, well, tell me what you got. Lo que captaste tú. All right, here it is. This is your Say What soundbite for the first time.
So I was seeing them in the hospital. I was talking to them on the radio because we'd have celebrity guests every night. Without exception, they'd pull me aside and tell me their and it was always around trauma and narcissism and substances.
Me pregunta el del chiringuito si quiero hacer kitesurf o wakeboard o si prefiero tomarme un bitter cas antes. Me acaba de decir 5 palabras en inglés. Kite, que significa cometa. Surf, que es obviamente hacer surf, pero también significa oleaje. Wake, que es estela, en este caso la estela del barco. Board es tabla y bitter es amargo. Y justo antes, cuando le pregunté si hablaba inglés, me dijo,
pero patatero.
Sabemos mucho más inglés de lo que creemos. Solo nos falta asimilarlo y situarlo. Aprende a aprender inglés en cualquier lugar con This Book is the Milk y su secuela, This Book is the Milk 2. Te enseñaremos cómo enfocar el inglés, aprovechando todo el inglés que tenemos alrededor y de una manera divertida y adictiva. The Remilk ahora se llama This Book is the Milk 2 y viene con audio y nueva portada. Descúbrelos ya en vaughantienda.com.
That's right, folks. That's just one of the 5 books that I have authored. As you know, I've got English Everywhere, which is 40 different situations. So I'll take you to the dentist. I'll take you to the nightclub. I'll take you to the restaurant. I'll take you to the doctor's office for a checkup. And along the way, we'll take a look at phrasal verbs. We take a look at common mistakes, little tricks, little hacks, como decimos, to remember things, to remember things and never forget them. Because that's the idea behind association, right? And double trouble and, connecting ideas in our brain, because the odds, la probabilidad of remembering that will increase dramatically. All right. So if you're looking for any awesome books, including English Everywhere, my first book, This Book is the Milk, This Book is the Milk 2, This book is the shit. And then you've also got English on the go. I've got 5, and there are so many other amazing materials available at the Von Tienda. And today we're going to take a look at her, but the idea is, of course, you've got to eventually get up. Then what do? You put on your slippers. To put on your slippers, tus zapatillas, pantuflas, you say, pantuflas, something like this. Tus zapatillas de casa. So, then you turn on the coffee machine, then you turn on the faucet, you fill up a glass of water, right? And you haven't even started your day, really. You're just getting started, and you've already used 6, 7, 8 phrasal verbs. And I didn't even talk about getting in the shower, turning on the water. Oh, it's a little bit hot. Let me turn up the cold water or turn down the hot water. Oh, but then I have to soap up. Tengo que enjabonarme. I've got to soap up. Then after that, I've got to rinse off. Enjuagar, quitar lo que es esa capa de jabón. So again, we need phrasal verbs. And then, you got to drop your kids off at school. Then you got to pick them up in the afternoon, right? And all that before you run some errands. And you may run into a friend. Topar con. So again, it's impossible to get around. Mira, hasta en la explicación uso un phrasal verb. It's impossible to get around these. We use them. We don't even know they exist. You need them to get by. ¿Ves? Solo en la explicación he usado 2. You can't get around them. No puedes evitarlos. You need them to get by, salir del paso. So get used to them, get into them, and let's see which ones we're going to look at today in phrasal verbs. And again, it's available at Von Tienda, just one of the many materials. But if you get this book and its audio that comes with it, you should be an expert in the most common phrasal verbs. All right, pay close attention because I will have some challenges for you afterwards.
To wake up.
Hace falta mucho ruido para despertarme.
It takes a lot of noise to wake me up.
Ella se despertó antes que los demás.
She woke up before everyone else.
Cuando se despertó, estaba oscuro.
When he woke up, it was dark.
Nunca me despierto antes de las 7.
I never wake up before 7 a.m.
Nos despertamos al cantar de los pájaros.
We woke up to the birds singing.
Nos despertó la tormenta.
The storm woke us up.
Cállate o despertarás al bebé.
Be quiet, or you'll wake the baby up.
Me gustaría que me despertaran a las 8 de la mañana.
I'd like to be woken up at 8 a.m.
Se fue a dormir y nunca se despertó.
He went to sleep and never woke up.
¡Despiértate!
Wake up! To stay up.
Dejaron a los niños quedarse levantados.
They let the children stay up.
Ella se quedó levantada hasta que salió el sol.
She stayed up until the sun came up.
Nos quedaremos levantados toda la noche.
We'll stay up all night.
Antes nos quedábamos levantados hasta tarde.
We used to stay up until late.
¿Por qué te quedas despierto hasta tan tarde?
Why do you stay up so late?
Intenté quedarme despierto, pero no pude.
I tried to stay up, but I couldn't.
No te quedes levantado toda la noche, ¿vale?
Don't stay up all night, okay?
Se quedó levantado todo lo que pudo.
He stayed up as long as he could.
¿Con qué frecuencia te quedas despierto hasta tarde?
How often do you stay up late?
Nunca me quedo despierto hasta tarde.
I never stay up late.
To get up.
Esta mañana me levanté a las 6.
I got up at 6 o'clock this morning
¿Por qué te levantaste tan pronto?
Why did you get up so early?
Tuve que levantarme pronto para limpiar el piso.
I had to get up early to clean my flat.
Necesito una hora para levantarme por la mañana.
I need an hour to get up in the morning.
Ella debe haberse levantado con el pie izquierdo.
She must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed.
Él no pudo levantarse esta mañana.
He couldn't get up this morning.
¿Le gusta levantarse tan pronto?
Does he like to get up so early?
Levántate.
Get up!
Bebí agua antes de levantarme.
I drank some water before I got up.
Ella se levantó tarde y perdió el autobús.
She got up late and missed her bus. To come up.
La Navidad se está acercando.
Christmas is coming up soon.
Nos estamos acercando a mi salida.
We're coming up to my exit.
¿No dijo Juan que se está acercando su cumpleaños?
Didn't Juan say his birthday is coming up?
Acércate al podio para recibir tu premio.
Come up to the podium to receive your prize.
Es casi medianoche.
It's coming up to midnight.
No le gusta cuando los extraños se acercan a él.
He doesn't like it when strangers come up to him.
Nos estamos acercando a las elecciones primarias.
We're coming up to the primary elections.
Durante la inundación, el agua nos llegaba a las rodillas.
During the flood, the water came up to our knees.
No nos oyeron acercarnos por detrás.
They didn't hear us come up behind them.
Hay una buena película justo después del telediario.
There's a good movie coming up right after the news.
All right, folks, there you go. Some really, key vocabulary. This is vocabulary you don't just have to be familiar with, but you've got to have it in your palate, en tu paladar. No? Is that how you say it? In your palate, in your color palette. So it's got to be in your collection. Get up, right? Because you do it every day, and not just in the morning. You get up off the sofa. You get up off the toilet. Yeah, hey, maybe it's graphic, but it's true that we all do it. So get up, come up. I mean, think about that. Nos viene tal el viaje. The London trip is coming up, right? Coming up. Also to come up to, acercarse. And remember, you can kind of, that last one is interchangeable. To run up to, he ran up to me. I walked up to him. They drove up to us. So esa tiene mucho juego, right? Acercarse en coche, acercarse andando, acercarse corriendo, to come up to. So it's not just, subir las escaleras, come up, right? Also, a come up is a bargain, un chollo. You know it from the song Thrift Shop. I'm looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. Well, I'm gonna pop some tags. Got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome. I'm looking for a come up. I'm looking for a bargain. And if I thought about it, I could probably give you another 3 or 4 meanings just for come up and get up. But let's take a look at some of the ones I want to see if you extracted. Well, one of them was not in the audio, but the audio reminded me of it. So I wanted to see if you know this one. My daughter knows it very well, and you'll see why. But let's start with number 1. Now, in Spanish, you express this as levantarse con el pie izquierdo. All right. Well, how do you say that in English? It was in the audio. And of course, use it in context. Do you ever? Does it happen to you often? Right? Do you know somebody who's very irritable? Right? That's another way to say it. Irritable, cranky, moody. Esto es como, de gruñón, de irritable. Some people are, especially, well, hey guys, I'm a nice guy, but you don't want to talk to me too much pre-coffee because I could, no matter how well I sleep, my brain is not working yet and I can't even focus my eyes early in the morning. As many of you know, I'm an early riser. An early riser, soy madrugador. I get up at the crack of dawn. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Just that's the way my circadian rhythm goes, and I'm going with it. And in fact, even though I set my alarm, mira, ese no es phrasal verb, porque no le acompaña ninguna preposición. Even though I set my alarm for 6 a.m., I usually wake up at like 5:55, and I turn it off because I beat it. Gano a mi alarma. So I turn it off. I set it. It never goes off. Para repasar lo de la palabra. Go off también es estallar. I remember one time in Terminal 4, a bomb went off. This was at Barajas Airport. Again, use real examples. In this way, you're not just, making things up. And if you make things up, well, I know they usually are creative. So, levantarse con el pie izquierdo would be the first one. Use it in context for us. The next one is quedarse levantado. Okay? So, no dormirse. We've all done it. Just if you need an example, I just want you to think back to your college years, los años universitarios. Oh, yeah. And don't tell me you te quedaste levantado sin dormir because you were studying. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 nights. But I know the other times you were out there painting the town red. You know how I know? I was too. To paint the town red is liarla, ir de fiesta, de juerga por ahí. So the second one is quedarse levantado. Use it in context. No ir a la cama. Okay? And the last one, and this is the one that I said my daughter knows really, really well. Okay? And this is meter dentro. Now, this there are 2 different uses I can think of. Okay? And I can help you. Te dirijo aquí. Meter con un niño se usa. We use it with kids. So, my example, no te voy a dar la palabra porque me lo vas a dar tú. But what I would say to my daughter, I'll give you the context, is, honey, brush your teeth, and then I'll come, meterte dentro, meterte en la cama. Okay? But also, if we're going to a wedding, we're going to some kind of formal event, and, tienes la camiseta por fuera. I'm going to tell you in Spanish para que no se me va la lengua aquí. And tienes la camisa por fuera, yo te diría, hombre, mete la camiseta, por favor. Métela porque, you don't want to look sloppy. This is a formal occasion. All right? Now, that one wasn't in the audio, pero lo de la cama, tal, I was like, vamos a ver si saben estas. So, the first one is levantarse con el pie izquierdo. The second one is quedarse levantado. And the third one is meterse en la cama, meter la camiseta. That's another way to say it as well. All right, we're going to take a look at your answers and much, much more in the second part of today's show. We are just flying through the show, and we're only going to fly faster. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 2 of today's show with no name. Just a quick reminder, you've got tons of amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, programs that will get you excited about English, and this way you enjoy the learning process from start to finish. Yeah, we firmly believe that. Yeah. You got to work hard. We already know that part. Okay, you got to put in a little bit of effort every day, a little bit of time, a little bit of investment, a little bit of passion, a little bit of drive, all those ingredients. We all know that stuff. But we also believe it should be fun. It shouldn't be tedious. Why? Why does it have to be tedious? We're learning about people. We're learning about how to describe things and places and historical events and pop culture milestones. Things that any native speaker would talk about. And the good thing is, every show is different here on Vaughn Radio. That's my show. Fitz's show is much more of a class, a straightforward class, and it's great. We need that. We need some that are like, okay, go, give me the structure. Say it again, right? And then we need other ones that are more like, you want to know the words that teenagers are all saying? Oh, this is a new word. Or where we use memes. Then you got the Probo show. It's not teachy. It's not a teachy show. The word teachy is another way of saying didactic. But we firmly believe that on all of those shows and all of those different styles, we all believe that you've got to have fun and you've got to enjoy the process. All right, let's kick things off with our Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you for the second time, and then we'll see what you guys come up with.
So I was seeing them in the hospital. I was talking to them on the radio because we would have celebrity guests every night. Without exception, they'd pull me aside and tell me and it was always around trauma and narcissism and substances.
Hey, Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. And we're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah. Wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así de gusto aprender inglés con un pe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujo para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good ort. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. This book is the shit, among others. They're all available at vaughantienda.com. As I said, today we're taking a look at our phrasal verbs book. It is chock full of the most important phrasal verbs, the ones you're going to see, the ones you're going to hear, the ones you're going to need to use if you consider yourself an English speaker. So we've got the material. We're taking a look at some of them right now in our pop quiz, and we'll take a look at our answers. I see we've got a lot of people checking in. Good morning. Good morning, Show with No Namers. Wherever you're tuning in from, let's see who's with us, and we'll check your pop quiz answers, and we'll also see what you guys had to say about our Say What soundbite. Oh, by the way, there's a point in the audio where you just hear do you know why? I imagine you can figure it out. They would pull me and tell me their shit. Me contaban sus mierdas. Okay, we don't say shits. Ahí sería con ese, pero se dice igual, right? So, and tell me their shit. But since YouTube or whatever channel I got it from on YouTube censored the word, you'll only hear that final T. And you can censor the word yourself, because if not, you know what's going to happen. Here come the censor police. All right, let's see who's with us. There's Chris Valrol. She says, good eye, mate. That's exactly what it was. Good eye. When I first heard it, I thought it was good eye. Buen ojo. Good eye, might, and might como podría. I might go, right? So just to show you, first, we wouldn't say good day. We wouldn't even use those words, even if we were to pronounce them the way we would normally pronounce them. We wouldn't say good day, mate. It just wouldn't be normal. But then if you add the good eye, mate, you're like, what the hell did he just say? And I know New Zealand, too. I remember a friend of mine from New Zealand, she used to say, oh, I can't wait to go to my bead. My bead. And I said, your bead? Lentejuela? You know, beads are things on necklaces. She said, no, my bead. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't speak your language. And she said, my bead, where you sleep, your bead. I'm like, bead? Wow, that's an interesting variation on that one. So, hey, even someone like me who's been exposed to the language your whole life, you're going to have a lot of WTF moments. Like, what? What did you just say? That's crazy. I've never heard it said like that in my life. All right. So Chris says, how are you, mate? Kinda. Well, no, you got it. It's good eye, mate, which means how's it going? How are you? It's a greeting. It's a greeting. Just like we would say sup, where I come from, sup. S-U-P. What's up? Sup. Sup. There's Born to Iron Man. He says, sup, buddies. Te cambio el WhatsApp for sup. Hablando de WhatsApp. What's up, buddies? How's it going, Born to Iron Man? Great to have you with us. Let's see. He's also participating in today's pop quiz. And he says, if you have a bad day, maybe you got up on the wrong side of the bed. Absolutely. To get up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay. Very good, man. Or as they would say it in New Zealand, to get up on the wrong side of the bead. All right, let's see. We also call that, by the way, cuando no te va nada bien en el día. I'm having a bad hair day. Y esto es cuando el pelo no hace lo que quieres. You're between haircuts or there's humidity y no te va bien nada. So it's a euphemism for I'm not having the great. It's a bad hair day. I got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. All right, great. The next one, he says, I don't stay up all night because I like to hit the sack ASAP. Well, yes, it's to stay up, mantenerse arriba, ¿no? Levantado, quedarse levantado. And he used to hit the sack. That's a way you would say ir al sobre in Spanish. To hit the sack or to hit the hay, la paja o el heno, right? Hit the hay. I'm going to hit the hay. I'm going to hit the sack. Did you know this one? I'm going to turn in. Oh, toma, toma, toma. Even my highest levels. Did you know that one? I think I'm going to turn in. That means to go to bed. So we've got a lot of different ways to say it, right? All right. Excellent job, Born to Iron Man. Let's see the last one. Please, this is a formal dinner. Would you mind tucking your shirt in? Excellent job, my amigo. You're on it. You're on it. Estás encima. You say the same thing. Controlando. All right, there's Chris Valrol. She's talking about what she heard in today's Say What soundbite. And she says, I heard a man, and I can't pinpoint his accent. He may be an artist, a radio host. He says something about, he said, in a hospital. And afterwards, he talked about it on the radio. Well, Chris, so maybe he's a doctor who works on the radio. You're on to something there. Sigue esa pista, ¿no? Del contexto. You are on to something there, Chris. Yeah. Doctor, hospital, radio show. Okay, you're on the right track, or you're on to something. Excellent job, my detectives. All right. Oh, and Chris continues, and he was pulled aside to telling off him. No, so he was pulled aside to tell someone off, or to be told off. He was pulled aside to be told off. Is that what you want to say? Y para que le echasen una bronca. All right. Interesting. Just be careful with the, I like the phrasal verb to tell off, but just be careful with your wording. He was pulled aside to be told off, or to tell someone off, right? Let's see. Also, Chris says, I don't usually get up on the wrong side of the bed. Excellent. She says, I do tend to stay up late. Sí que tengo la tendencia de mantenerme despierta hasta tarde. And then she says, finally, at midnight, I get into bed. All right. And, or you tuck into bed. Hey, there it is. So, or maybe Alberto tucks you in. Now, remember, as I said, to tuck in, usually we use it with kids. So I was just joking, obviously. But when I tuck Lara in, it's not just tucking the sheet in or the blanket, but it's, putting her pillow in the right position. I read her a book, or I tell her a story, my wife or I, right? We're tucking her in, right? But also, again, it's the same idea with a shirt. Tucking in a child, it's not just the action of meter la sábana. It's todo, es de poner a dormir, right? So to tuck somebody in, fíjate la estructura. Can you tuck me in? Okay. Ahora, no puedes decir, can you tuck in me? But you can say, can you tuck in your shirt? So cuando es persona, no es divisible. Okay. Or es divisible, sorry, the other way around. Okay. So to get up on the wrong side of the bed, that means you woke up cranky. Things are not going your way. You're moody. You're irritable. Okay. To stay up. Yeah, we stayed up late last night. I remember when I was a kid, that was, one of the biggest things, man. Oh, man, last night we stayed up until midnight. Even my daughter now, a lot of times this summer, because, kids stay up later. Toma ejemplo, contexto perfecto. Kids stay up later in the summer, right? That's normal. So a lot of times Lara would ask me, Daddy, is it midnight yet? Because then I'm staying up until the next day. Okay, so quedarse levantado, stay up. Now, what happens if I change that up to an out? Last night we stayed out until pretty late. Estar por ahí. Okay, so to stay out, to stay up, same idea. One of them estás diciendo que estás despierto, el otro que estás por ahí. Okay? And the last one, as I said, to tuck in. Now, also tuck in the right context also means a comer. All right, everybody, tuck in. Okay? Ahí no estás diciendo méteme en la cama. Tuck me in. You're saying tuck in. And it means a comer. Another way we say that, más americano, yo diría, is dig in. We looked at the word dig yesterday, right? Dig. It was in our triple trouble. Dig in means acabar, right? Which really means a comer. All right. So wonderful job, everybody, in this section. Excellent job. Chris says, yes, to be told off. All right. I just wanted to make sure that we're saying the same thing here. And Chris also says, Alberto falls asleep while getting into bed. Esto se diría, he passes out. Se desmaya, no, se queda sopa. He passes out or he conks out. To conk out is conk. Yeah, think about it. The sound says it all. To pass out or to conk out. Es la misma palabra que desmayarse. Como que te quedas, boom. Hey, I'm like that too. When I hit the sack, I am out like a light. Mira, otra forma de decirlo. Man, last night I was out like a light. Click, ya está, fuera. You're sleeping in an instant. That means that you had a productive day usually, right? That you burned your energy, both your mental and your physical energy. All right, guys, though, we've got to move on. Wonderful job again in our pop quiz, but now it's time for today's news report.
This is the news report on the show with no name, bringing you the latest breaking news. I'm Alberto Alonso, reporting live.
All right. Oh, all right. All right. All right. I call this story. Okay, calm down, guys. Stop meowing. I call this story, This Cat is a Trip. Now, what does that mean if I say this cat is a trip? Me parto, no? Con esto. Oh, man, you're a trip. Me parto contigo. But also to trip es tropezarse. I used to mix that up with atropellarse. So, until I got atropellado, then for some reason it was clear in my head after that. So this cat is a trip. But also, again, with that, well, trip is also viaje. So viaje, what was the word I just said? Caerse, no? I can't remember the Spanish word now. Tropezarse, right? So to trip. And if somebody's a trip, you're a gas, you're a trip. O sea, me lo paso bien contigo, me río contigo. But this cat isn't so much of a trip. Well, he made his owner trip. Let's put it that way. And the owner says that he is lucky to be alive. He sustained what were called car crash injuries. Yeah, injuries that you would sustain if you had gotten in a car accident. But he didn't. He tripped over his cat. Now you're thinking, okay, maybe he sprained his ankle, un esguince. Maybe he twisted, something, or, who knows? Broke a rib, worst case scenario. No. This guy had injuries that were catastrophic. Catastrophic. Okay. Well, the story is in the UK. In fact, it takes us over to the UK. Would you like me to do it in my British accent? A UK man miraculously survived after sustaining, are you ready for this? A broken neck, a fractured spine, smashed ribs, blood in his lungs, and other car crash evoking injuries. And again, the accident was as simple as him tripping over his feline. Yes. He's a 59-year-old man named Chris Rowley, and he said, I can't remember much, just falling fast. It was quick, and it was over within seconds. Then I was at the bottom. Okay? And basically, his cat, and it's funny, I like the name of this cat. It's an Egyptian Sphinx kitten. O sea, no es ni gato grande todavía, it's a kitten. Well, the cat's name is Eric Morkambe. I can't believe he gave his cat a last name. And, the cat was being playful, juguetón, right? Frisky, as we say, frisky, playful, and it dove out, se lanzó de cabeza, it dove out and it latched on to latches, como una hebilla. It latched on to one of the owner's legs while he was coming down the stairs. All right, now I've got to tell you something. My cat is an expert in lunging at us and, grabbing our legs. The only thing is, we're normally on flat ground. Well, our friend Chris Rowley, he was walking down the stairs when his cat attacked his leg. And what happened was he lost his footing. To lose your footing, piénsalo, tus pies. You lose your footing, you fall over. Okay? And the guy was unable to move. He fell 14 steps. That's pretty crazy. 14 steps. He was there at the bottom of the stairs. The doctors say it'll take about 6 to 12 months till he's back on his feet. Yeah, again, guys, the guy was not in a car accident. He tripped over his cat. And when he had fallen, he didn't realize the extent of his injuries. But when paramedics took a look at him and they did all their tests, they said, again, we left some out. He suffered, padeció de, a fractured skull, cráneo. Oh my God. I don't know if this cat's going to be getting any treats anytime soon. So a fractured skull, a broken bone in the neck, 2 fractures in the spine, 9 broken ribs, each rib with multiple fractures, and a bit of blood in his lungs. Yeah. Now, the good news, the cat's fine. Well, I guess somebody came out of this unscathed, but that's incredible. And the guy was there for 14 hours at the bottom of the stairs. What? Yeah, that's right. His wife, Jackie, she works in childcare, cuidado de niños. And she was working nights and she wasn't able to come to his aid. She couldn't leave the children. So this guy was lying there unattended for 14 hours in a pool of his own blood. And you're thinking, well, why didn't he call someone? Well, the phone was dead. Yeah, his cell phone. That's why it's always good to have battery in your phone. And he says he couldn't get up. He physically could not get up. And he said he got the sensation of claustrophobia. Like you can't get out, you can't escape, you can't do anything. As we say in English, your hands are tied. And then, as I said, the next morning, 14 hours after he had fallen, his wife arrived on the scene and she opened the door and she heard him screaming. He was screaming bloody murder, as we say. Ah! Bueno, tenemos el efecto y todo. He was screaming bloody murder. That's called the Wilhelm scream, by the way. And, the good thing is the guy's gonna recover. But, wow, talk about injuries, The good thing is once they called the medical professionals, they arrived on the scene really quickly. Took them about 10 minutes to get there. And they said they really had to drug him up. That's right. They had to drug him up, meterle todo tipo de droga just to be able to move him. And the crazy part, to add insult to injury, como decimos, to add insult to injury, hacer una situación peor, the cat, after the guy was lying there for 14 hours, during that time, the cat was just walking around and jumping on his chest. Again, I don't think the cat was being malicious. Cats are playing all the time. And so the cat's like, all right, well, let's keep playing. That was a fun game. You fell down 14 steps. So, wow. Nobody's going to believe him, when they see him and they're like, hey, Johnson, what happened to you, man? He's like, I tripped over my cat. Well, as I said before, this cat is a trip. Literally. All right, amigos. We're going to take a quick commercial break right now. We'll be right back with the second half of the show. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, so you're not going to want to miss it. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Say it with me. 3, 2, 1. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. This is part 3 of today's show with no name. Can't believe it. We are flying through the week, huh? It's great to be back here with all of you. And as I said, as of the 8th of September, everybody will be back live. So some of the Vaughn radio shows have been on break for quite some time. Kyle and many other shows, Chris, Frank, they'll all be back on the 8th of September. So tune in. All you have to do is download the Vaughn radio app, and you can listen to all their brand new content that they produce every day with a little bit of TLC. TLC, tender loving care, el toque de cariño, the secret ingredient in everything, I would say. Download the free Vaughn Radio app, and you can listen to us wherever, whenever. In this part of the show, we're going to kick things off with our homophones. We've got our Say What soundbite. We've got wacky world records. We've got our spelling bee, and so much more to do in the second half of today's show with no name. Are you ready? For what? Well, I just said, homophones on the show with no name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, my amigos. It is homophones only on the show with no name. And I was just thinking, like, okay, we just said that the guy who tripped over his cat on the stairs, you know, they said that his recovery would be anywhere from 6 to 12 months. So, you know, we talked about the physical damage to his body, but how is he going to work? So just imagine the loss of income. La palabra que vimos ayer, la pérdida de ingresos, all because of a little kitten that decided to jump out at you, which is what they do when you were walking down the stairs. And 14 stairs, 57, you know, the odds, la probabilidad, the odds are stacked against you to come out in one piece, ileso. All right, let's see what we've got for today's homophones. The first word is guiar, conducir, dirigir. It also means mandar o capitanear. All right. It's also llevar a. No, esta cosa lleva a otra o conduce a otra, provoca a otra cosa. Okay, it's llevar a alguien también. Liderar, oof, man, it's got a lot of meanings. All right? You know the word? You familiar with it? All right. The second word is plomo. 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 I remember they used to put them in pencils, But then they realized, I don't know if that's a good idea. Maybe we should use graphite or something that's a little less dangerous than plomo. All right, so those are your words. The first word is provocar, llevar, mandar, guiar, conducir, dirigir. And the second word is plomo. What are those two words, and do they sound exactly the same or not? Also, let me give you today's Say What soundbite. I'm going to give it to you for the third time.
So I was seeing them in the hospital. I was talking to them on the radio because we'd have celebrity guests every night. Without exception, they'd pull me aside and tell me their and it was always around trauma and narcissism and substances.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovon.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown.
That's right, folks. If you want more information about Vaughntown, all you have to do is go over to grupovon.com. Also, if you're following us on social media, then you'll have access to us, to our posts, and you'll know what's going on when we've got special deals, when our next trivia night is. You'll probably be more in the know than I am. Hey, it's not hard. All right, amigos. So let's see. We were looking at our homophones. I've already given you the Say What soundbite for the third time, so we should be making progress over there. Let's see. Born to Iron Man is the first one to participate, and he gives us the two words correctly, and he says they don't sound alike. All right, Chris Valrol. She gives us the two words correctly, and she says they are not homophones. But wait, this is a bit confusing. They're not homophones, but they're spelled exactly the same? Is that possible? Sure. Look at wind and wind. Look at tear and tear. Look at bass and bass. Look at minute and minute. Yeah, sure. Why not? There are many words that, well, depending on how they're being used, they'll be pronounced one way or another. Now, I know that's laziness because you're thinking, well, why couldn't you just get another word and spell it differently? Well, we didn't. So I'm letting you know. So is it one of those words that, depending on where you see it, it's pronounced differently? All right, let's say the two words. The first word is lead. Right? Lead. And I'm sure, I'm thinking Carlos Jean. Lead the way. I'll follow you everywhere. Lead the way. Lead the way. No, lead the way is enséñanos el camino. Lead the way. Great expression if you didn't know it. So lead. A tour guide leads the people through the city. A leader leads its people, right? If it's a her or a him, they're people. Right? Also, well, this led to, ahora ves, en pasado es led. So it's lead, led. Así eso es L-E-A-D, perdona. La segunda columna L-E-D y la tercera igual, L-E-D. So that led to the Second World War. ¿No? Eso llevó a, dirigió a. So lead, led. All right. So great. And if you know the word leader, follow the leader, 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 follow the leader. Sígueme. What is the leader doing? Leading the way. All right. And the second word? Led. Okay. So lead, plomo is Lead, and lead, dirigir is spelt the same? Absolutely. But they don't sound the same. In fact, I'll tell you a little thing over here that the past tense of the verb to lead and the participle sound like lead, plomo. So even though those two words are not homophones, right, lead, lead, sí que si cogemos la segunda y tercera columna, sí que suena igual. He led them to the lead. Les llevó al plomo. Then it is. So even though we didn't find homophones originally in our first pair, we were able to find some in the second and third column. So wonderful job, everyone. According to lore, this is why Led Zeppelin wrote it Led, L-E-D, because they didn't want people saying lead. Yeah, well, if you hadn't heard of the band, maybe you would say Lead Zeppelin, right? Because you don't know. Again, it would be like if it was called Fat. If the group is called Fat, B-A-S-S, is it Fat Bass or Fat Bass? Fat Bass is bajo gordo, el instrumento, and fat bass is lubina gorda. So again, to avoid any confusion, any mix-ups, Led Zeppelin decided to spell the lead as L-E-D. This way, nobody would say lead Zeppelin. So there you go, folks. Let's see a couple comments over here. Born to Iron Man says, no need to say in which mythical band we're thinking right now. Well, there you go. You read my mind. Chris Valrol says, Carole King song, Where You Lead, I Will Follow. Anywhere that you tell me to, you need me to be with you, will follow where you lead. Well, I don't know if those are the exact words. There's some made up words in there, but yes, many, many songs you'll see. I mean, just the one we said, follow the leader, lead. It's about leading as well. And I'm sure if we looked, we would find it in many, many ways, right? Also, to lead somebody on. Do you know what this one is? You're giving me a false impression, falsas esperanzas. She said that I was handsome. She doesn't really like you. She's leading you on. Okay, to lead, piénsalo, ven por aquí, right? To lead somebody. A ver cómo lo traducen aquí. Are you leading me on? Okay, to lead on, engañar, darle esperanzas falsas, to mislead someone. Okay, to mislead or to lead somebody on. So there you go, my amigos. Those are your words. As our friends pointed out, they are not homophones. Born to Iron Man says, let's go, Double A. Give us a performance, not a performing, a performance of Whole Lotta Love. A Whole Lotta Love, I'm not too familiar with the lyrics. Let's see, Stairway to Heaven. I can sing a little bit for you. You want a little bit of Stairway to Heaven? All right, let's see if I can do it. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, ooh, and she's buying the stairway to heaven. I know what part you wanted. And as we wind on down the road, that's the hardest part to sing. Oh, man. That one. And if there's a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now. It's just a spring clean for the May Queen. It is not by any means an easy song to sing. And it gets harder as the song progresses. Have you noticed that? It starts out, there's a lady who's sure, and in the end is, and as we wind on down the road. I'm doing it falsetto because I can't hit those notes that only Robert Plant can, or at least in his heyday, in su apogeo, in his heyday, he could hit. All right, amigos, let's move on. It is time for Wacky World Records.
Wacky World Records. These are the wackiest records in the whole wide world.
All right, amigos. Now I'm going to warn you. I'm going to forewarn you. Prevenidos estáis. This this Wacky World Records section today is going to make you hungry. You're going to end up drooling, especially if you haven't had breakfast yet like me. All right, well, today's record is the most layers on a sandwich. Eso es, el máximo número de capas en un sandwich. Now, normally a layer is, well, a cold cut, right? Some cold cuts. Cold cuts, I think you say fiambre. Piénsalo, lo cortas en frío. So anything like that, you know, chorizo, we say chorizo. Ham, jamón york, we just call ham. Cheese, all that stuff. That's kind of like the cold cuts, right? Also, you can do chicken breast. I mean, you can remember there are as many kinds of sandwiches out there as there are people. And especially if you're adding how many layers? How many layers do you think this sandwich has? Now, I'll give you a clue here. The record was broken in New York City. Now, let me explain something here. Normally, our sandwiches are huge. Like when we're not trying to break a record, like you can't get your mouth around it. Now, hey, if you're going to complain about something, oh, that's too much food. Okay, all right, well, okay, well, save it for later. I remember that when I used to order a turkey sandwich. It was a hero or a sub. Eso es la larga, como submarine. It looks like a submarine. And I remember I would order a fresh roasted turkey hero. So every day the deli on the corner would roast a turkey. And I would shave it down. Well, I wouldn't. The guy behind the deli. So it was delicious. I mean, it was real turkey, not fiambre de pavo. You know what I'm talking about? It's not cold cuts. It's real turkey. And I remember I used to get that with lettuce, tomato, and crispy onions. And you want to know something? Right now, my mouth is totally watering. But the sandwich, without adding very much, because then people add, give me jalapenos, pickles, lettuce, cheese. People add a lot of different layers. Well, just with the turkey and a little lettuce and tomato, I could not fit my mouth around the sub. And guys, you know me. I got a pretty big mouth. So I'm just telling you, if you're going to say 10 layers, you've never seen a sandwich in New York. That, 10 is like a norm. The club here, the club. Do you know where that comes from? Club. It comes from chicken and lettuce under bacon. Yeah, that's right. Chicken and lettuce under bacon. Clubs, el club. Hey, that's what they say, and the internet never lies. So, all right, let's get down to business. Al lío. How many layers? Not liars. Cuidado, he oído mucha gente pronunciar esta palabra capa, liar. No, liar, mentiroso. Lay viene del verbo to lay. Poner una capa. So they lay down a layer of ham. Then they lay a layer, right? So it comes from that word, lay, not lie, right? Como decís, los patatas lies. No, it's lies. It's pronounced lays. So 60 layers were put on this sandwich. Again, I don't know how you could fit it in your mouth, but I don't think that was the goal. The goal wasn't to make a sandwich that everybody could eat. It was to make a sandwich that would break a record. And that record was broken in 2016. And what did it have on it? Yeah, I'm curious too. Well, salami, the main ingredients, the stars were salami and mustard. Okay. That's not bad. You know, salami, mustard, lettuce, onions. Okay, now we're getting into some crazy territory. Now, the predecessor, the sandwich that had this title, this record before, featured peanut butter, bacon, and marshmallow. Oh, that sounds lovely. That sounds really good. Have you ever heard of an Elvis? Oh, well, my wife discovered it. At first, she's like, que guarrada. And afterwards, she said, give me one of those. And Elvis is peanut butter, banana, and bacon on bread, on a sandwich. Now, the bacon is optional. If you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you can just do peanut butter and bacon. Excuse me. No, peanut butter and bananas. But, the bacon is a lovely thing. So you see a lot of weird things. I mean, I see it here with the burgers. I mean, am I the only one who thinks that these gourmet burgers, they've gone too far? They're like trozos de oro, huevo de, dinosaurio. And you're like, I just want a normal burger. What is this? You know, what the hell are you selling me here? So, and remember in the States, I'll just end on this note here. In the States, it's important. It's really important to tell them what kind of bread you want. Because when you go to a deli, I mean, it starts with the bread. So, well, actually, no, it starts with the main character. What do I mean? Well, if you want a chicken sandwich, then chicken, turkey. Let me get a cheese sandwich, the main ingredient. So you would say, give me a turkey on rye, en pan de centeno, or on a roll, en un panecillo, on a bagel. You specify the bread. On white bread, right? On whole wheat. Whole wheat is, I always forget the word there. Whole wheat. Déjame buscarlo. Whole wheat. Whole wheat is trigo integral, pan integral, right? As you call it here. So you specify the main ingredient, you specify the bread, and then your add-ons. Okay. And your add-ons can be anything from pickles, onions, tomatoes, lettuce, right? To your dressings that can be as simple as, olive oil and vinegar, or as complicated as a Russian dressing. Well, in the States, you'll see at delis, they'll offer you like 75 different sauces, from spicy ones to sweet ones, but just be careful. I remember reading this. This was about McDonald's. A lot of people were saying, oh, I got a salad instead of the Big Mac. And then they showed that once they put the dressing on the salad had more calories than the Big Mac. Don't quote me on that, but it was something to that effect. So remember this, if you are going to eat salads, and we do have some great salad bars, vaya concepto. Yeah, salad bars where you can put calamar, squid on top of your salad. Right? Really good salad bars. But remember, once you put bacon and, a big fatty dressing on there and croutons, los panes tostados, you might as well just have a steak. Pues ya que estás, cómete un solomillo. All right, amigos. Well, we have got to go to a commercial break, but I think we have time to give you guys today's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It is Double Trouble here on the Show with No Name. And this is one of those double troubles that I wrote down on my phone. What does that mean? That means that I got it from somewhere. So it didn't just come to me, this one. This is one that I heard. I don't know if I was watching a series or I was reading an article. I don't remember exactly where it came from now. But as I said, I always have my phone near and I'm like, ooh, this is a good one for my students. So this one has been served up for you today straight from pop culture. Okay, so this is not me saying, bueno, se usa esto. Esto es, lo oí, lo cogí, digo, a ver si lo saben mis alumnos. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about classic games today in our Double Trouble. Yeah, like how do you say el escondite? You know? We call it hide and seek. That's right. Hide, esconder, and seek, buscar. All right. Well, we're not talking about escondite, but we're talking about another one that you should know because it's a classic. And here it goes. Vamos a jugar al pilla-pilla. Vamos a jugar al pilla-pilla. ¿Quieres unirte o acompañar? Acompañarnos, right? Acompañarme, acompañarnos, right? So, vamos a jugar al pilla-pilla. ¿Quieres unirte / acompañarnos? There you go, my amigos. That's your double trouble. You have got to use the same word twice. I have a hunch someone's gonna get it. We've got to go to our final commercial break right now. I can't believe how fast time is flying by and how much we have left to do. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part 4 of today's show with no name here on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget to stay tuned and you can learn with Gretchen right after this show. You've also got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy. You've got an English adventure with Ruby, followed by a wacky English class with Dave Boys on the salad. Then you've got Kyle Miller for the commute home on his program Drive Time, where he will throw challenges your way every day. And then kick your feet up, relax. You deserve it. It's been a long day. And Chris Frank will help you do that as you learn English on Frankly Speaking. Plus, you've got Richard Vaughn Live, Jessica Fernandez, and the Hour to Empower. The Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. Fitz and his program, No Excuses, a masterclass with our teacher trainer. And if you listen to all those programs, you're definitely improving your English. There's no doubt in my mind. And if you're not, then maybe we have another issue. I know all of you are learning, making progress, and most importantly, you are driven. Estáis super motivados. All right, let's listen to our Say What soundbite. We're going to hear it for the 4th and final time. We'll see if anybody can figure it out.
So I was seeing them in the hospital. I was talking to them on the radio because we'd have celebrity guests every night. Without exception, they'd pull me aside and tell me their, and it was always around trauma and narcissism and substances.
¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. A partir del próximo mes de marzo 2023, podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan.
Brilliant!
That's right, folks. It is the Oxford Test of English, and you can get it done at any of our centers in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. You can learn English with us at Vaughan. You can get a free level test if you'd like as well, with no strings attached. Sin compromiso. Stop by and pay us a visit. We'd love to meet you. And if you introduce yourself as a Vaughan radio listener, you're already going to be welcomed. I mean, everybody's welcomed. But once they know you're already a part of the family, you're already into the Vaughan world and what we do, well, then you're going to be welcomed with open arms. All right, let's take a look over here. We're looking at today's Double Trouble, and it had to do with some childhood games. Now, the part I heard was read, the part that I got from pop culture was the second part. Unirse, acoplarse might be another way to say this as well. So let's see. Chris Bacon. Okay, here we go. We're going to play tag. Very good. Tag. El pilla pilla. What do you say? Te toca. Well, we say tag. We say you're it. Right? You're it. Es la ligas. La ligas. My daughter says it. Mira, si estoy aprendiendo de mi hija. Te la ligas or something, she says. Well, we say tag. You're it. You're it is now it's your turn to catch me because I just tagged you, right? So it's not just the title of these games. Now, you know the word tag probably from somewhere else too. Etiquetar. Tag me on the internet. That's one of those words that's changed meanings because before a tag was etiqueta, right? You buy some clothes and you have tags on your clothes, right? But then all of a sudden we started posting pictures and mentioning somebody was tagging them, etiquetando. So etiqueta, etiquetar, as you can see, the word comes from the original word, right? So etiqueta. Also, where's the other one I said? Tag is el pilla pilla, as I said. Also a dog tag. What is a dog tag? Well, no, it doesn't have too much to do with dogs. Not really. Well, you see them in movies. Forrest Gump. In Top Gun. He takes Goose's dog tags and he throws them into the ocean. Dog tags are las placas de identificación de soldados. Dog tags. Hey, we're talking about cats and dogs today here. I didn't plan that, folks. I did not plan that there. All right, so there you go. Now the second part. Let's take a look at the second part. So we're going to play tag. Ya hemos dicho tag, you're it. We're going to play tag. Do you want to tag along? ¿Quieres unirte? ¿Quieres acoplarte? And ladies and gentlemen, born to Iron Man, nailed it. Nice job. Chris Valrol says, let's play tag. Do you want to tag? Solo te falta, Chris, el along, right? To tag along. Tag along, acoplarte, unirte al plan. I also think about your little sister. Like, okay, my little sister's always tagging along, uniéndose, acoplándose. So excellent job. Born to Iron Man and Chris, now you know. Just missing that word along there. We're going to play tag. Do you want to tag along? Wonderful. Let's see. Chris is also participating in our Say What soundbite. And Chris, good effort. She says, I'm not sure about the last words. Well, we're going to give you points for effort here. And E for effort, como decimos. All right. Well, either way, I will be giving you the Say What soundbite completely in just a little bit. We'll know who it is and what the person is saying, but not yet, because right now it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. All right, amigos, it is Name That Movie. All right, let's take a look and we'll see if you guys can figure it out. All right, a frustrated African-American TV writer proposes a blackface minstrel show in protest, but to his chagrin, it becomes a hit. All right, vamos por parte. A frustrated, fácil, ¿no? Frustrado, African-American, negro, americano, an African-American TV writer proposes a blackface minstrel show. Now, blackface is when you dress up, you paint your face black, and it's not a good thing. Yeah, you know, every year we have it with Melchor, which is the wise men, los Reyes Magos, right? And there are people whose careers have ended, political careers, acting careers, because of blackface. But back then, it was a kind of humor. But this guy, a black guy, mocking his own, but he was doing it in protest. And to his chagrin, a ver cómo lo traducen, se escribe chagrin, right? Chagrin, disgusto, okay? Inquietud, desasosiego, desazón, chagrin. It's a weird word because it has a CH, but it sounds like an SH, chagrin. So it says, but to his chagrin, it becomes a hit. Se convierte en un exitazo. All right, Chris, Val, Rol, got it. The movie is called Bamboozled. That's right. And we looked at this word the other day when we were talking about the Justin Bieber imitator who went to Las Vegas and he bamboozled everyone. To bamboozle, embaucar, enredar, engañar. It's a funny word, isn't it? Bamboozle. Man, we were bamboozled. They bamboozled us. Hay pocas palabras que suenan tan guay, eh? What happened? What happened, guys? We were bamboozled. See, you could say it a million times and it still sounds funny. Well, this movie was directed by the one and only Spike Lee. Spike Lee, a very, very prolific film director. I have to say I've been a big fan of his films since I started watching Spike Lee films. So Bamboozled, it came out in 2000, the year 2000. And this movie starred Damon Wayans, the Wayans brothers, the ones who do Scary Movie. Not Scary Movie, the teen movie, you know, the spoofs, the parodies. You've also got Savion Glover and Will Smith's wife as well, Jada Pinkett Smith. So I saw the movie a long time ago. I don't remember it that well, but I do remember, it was very entertaining, as many Spike Lee movies are, and it had a message. It wasn't just, his movies usually have some kind of moral or message in them as well as being entertaining. So let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen from Bamboozled. Pierre Delacroix says, "As I bled to death." To bleed es un verbo irregular. Bleed, bled. As I bled to death, as my very life oozed out of me. And to ooze es Rezumar, is that the word you use? It's like, right, to salir, rezumar, supurar, gotear, right, to ooze. But also we can use it as rebosar. He was oozing with excitement, okay, and that would be rebosando, irradiar, right, ooze. Think about it. It makes sense. It means to flow slowly, right? When you have pus, right? It oozes. So if you think about it, ooze. Hey, I don't know. It could be onomatopoeic, even though it doesn't sound like that, but it could be linked to it in some way. So as my very life oozed out of me, all I could think of was something that the great Negro, antes les llamaban Negros, que ahora no se dice, y la otra ni de coña, okay? The N-word, como se llama en inglés. But I would avoid Negro and I would avoid the other one at all costs. But again, this is a movie about a period. So the great Negro James Baldwin had written, "People pay for what they do, and still more for what they have allowed themselves to become. And they pay for it, very simply, by the lives they lead." Hey, we looked at the word lead before. La vida que llevan, right? Take a look at the life you lead. So there's another meaning of that word lead that is not pronounced like lead. And then he says, "Now it was time for me to buy the farm." I know we've looked at this expression, to kick the bucket, to die. It's time for me to buy the farm. Comprar la granja. Yeah, that means morir, palmarla. To meet my maker, conocer al que me hizo. I think it's very clear, that one. Goodbye, cousins. Tune in next week for the best of Mantan, the new millennial minstrel show. There you go, folks. A little scene from Spike Lee's Bamboozled. Great job, Chris. And I think we're going to move on right now to You're Joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking here on the show with no name. All right, let's take a look at what we've got here. Where do bees go to the bathroom? Or where do bees do their business? Okay. Where do bees do number one? Mear. Where do bees do number two? Cagar. So where do bees go to the bathroom? Easy. BP. No, I think it's funny. BP, la gasolinera BP. But if you say it in English, BP, orina de abeja. BP. Okay. All right. Not the best joke ever. I'll be honest. I've told better jokes on here. So yes, where does a bee go to the bathroom? BP. All right. What does a bee use to style its hair? What does a bee use to style its hair? A honeycomb. Honeycomb. Are you kidding me? No. A honeycomb. Un peine de miel. What? Un peine de miel? That doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, if you separate the words, but if you put the words together, a honeycomb is panal. Yeah, you know what bees make, that structure that they make? It's called a honeycomb. Literalmente, comb is peine de miel. But it's, as I said, one word altogether, and that one word is panal, honeycomb. So what do bees use to style their hair? Honeycombs. Okay, last one, I promise, because we've got to move on. Why are wasps nastier than bees? Okay, a wasp. So a wasp, siempre me lío con estas dos también. A wasp es avispa and a bee is abeja. Okay, so let's clear that up. A wasp. So abeja, bee, and avispa, wasp. Also, wasp is, si queremos decir alguien muy anglosajón, blanco, protestante, de hecho, de eso, it's white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So people say, "Oh, he's a wasp, that guy. He's very waspy," right? And the group WASP, we are sexual perverts. Hey, when you're a rock and roll group, you can take it and you can call it what you want. So why are wasps nastier, más cabrones, más than bees? Because they can't beehive. Because they can't beehive, mate. No, I didn't say behave. I said beehive. A beehive es una colmena. A beehive? Beehive. Oh, please, beehive yourself. A beehive. Okay. All right. Not the best joke. Well, folks, we really have to move on, or else we are going to run out of time. I know you'd love to hear my jokes all day long, but right now it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays here on the show with no name. Let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person was born in 1960, an American actor, director, producer, and screenwriter. His whole family is famous, really, because they started the show in living color. If you have not seen In Living Color, this is where many people got their start, okay? Including, are you ready? Jim Carrey. Yes, that's right. In Living Color. It was only on the air for 2 seasons, but it was revolutionary. And also, it was black guys doing comedy. You know, we always saw wasps on Saturday Night Live, but this was for everybody. You know, you saw white guys like Jim Carrey, but then these brothers as well who were hysterical. All right. And they've done many, many movies. This guy, for example, was in The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis, Bulletproof, My Wife and Kids, Papa's House, and so much more. Number 2, this guy is the lead singer of the group Wasp. Hey, we just looked at that word. Hey, I was trying to help you. That's right. The lead singer of the group Wasp. I love this group. They get me going. And last but not least, this guy was born in 1958, and this guy is a doctor/media personality. I remember when I was growing up, he did a show called Loveline. It was a radio show that he did called Loveline, and people would call in with their love problems, and he would, well, not solve them, but at least help people solve them. And so he's one of these celebrity doctors. He even has a show called Celebrity Rehab, right? Rehabilitación de celebrities. So he has worked with many celebrities on, going sober and addiction and all kinds of things like that. So, as I said, a very well-known doctor. And I remember listening to Loveline. You could probably still hear some of those episodes if you want to listen to something exciting in English. All right, let's see. Chris Val roll. Number 1, Damon Wayans. That's right, Damon Wayans. The Wayans brothers. Just legendary. Number 2, Blackie Lawless. And number 3, Drew Pinsky, or as he's commonly known, Dr. Drew. And this is Dr. Drew in today's Say What soundbite. And he's talking about things, patrones, that he's seen with celebrities and addiction. Okay. And he says, so I was seeing them in the hospital. He was seeing celebrities because he worked in Los Angeles. I was talking to them on the radio, them as celebrities, because we'd have celebrity guests every night. So he said because how did you get surrounded by celebrities? They were asking him. He goes, without exception, que no fallaba nunca, they'd pull me aside, me cogían para un lado, and tell me their shit. And it was always around trauma, and narcissism and substances. So he's talking about reasons people have problems. Trauma, childhood trauma, narcissism, and then you add substances to that, and you've got your basic Hollywood story. All right, here he is, Dr. Drew.
So I was seeing them in the hospital. I was talking to them on the radio because we'd have celebrity guests every night. Without exception, they'd pull me aside and tell me their and it was always around trauma and narcissism and substances.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. Wonderful job today and every day, folks. You make me proud as your teacher. I can only say 3 words. Keep it up. Keep it up. Seguid así, and keep learning, keep laughing, and you guys have figured it out. I'm telling you, if you love learning, then you're going to learn something new, at least one thing every day. And I see it with you guys. Thank you for being an inspiration to me as well. And now we're going to go out with a bang. We're going to go out with one of my favorite Wasp songs, and it describes me. It describes my daughter, and I think even some of you. A wild child. Un salvaje. I'm a wild child. Come and love me. I want you. Yeah. Thank you so much, and sing along with me. Wild Child by Wasp. Come on. All right. Come on.